Hi, I'm Kyra. I'm a dance artist from London. I enjoy choreographing, improvising, taking class, collaborating with other dance artists and creatives. I would say my style is exploration of the styles I've studied and trained in. So I'm a graduate in contemporary dance, but I'm very much influenced by the other styles of like hip hop, house, commercial and jazz. Those are styles I've trained in as well as enjoy doing. Yeah, I'm always up for a laugh. Like, you'll always catch me like creasing.
That's it. I'm not telling you who Sarah is, where she's coming from.
I try not to take things too seriously, but when they do need to be taken seriously, I'm definitely there. But otherwise, yeah, I enjoy smiling. I enjoy seeing other people laugh and smile as well. That's just like the best thing to have in this life, because right now it's crazy cuckoo. I enjoy film, fashion, photography, music. Yeah, music just hits my soul. So fun fact, don't know if it's fun, but a fun fact is that I love the sun, and anyone that knows me knows that when the sun's shining, best believe I'm outside in that sunshine, boosting up the melanin. That's obviously my favourite season. And I'm a summer baby, so just all mashes into one basically. So I joined Instigate Unknown early this year in a production called Robin. It was the first time I was able to kind of perform and rehearse and train with a prop. And for my first like professional performance, that was very daunting, but then also very exciting, because it just showed that, yeah, this is something I really want to invest in and skill up in that realm of movement.
More risk for me means to not expect things to be perfect.
And trying new things without worrying about what could go wrong.
We all understand that there are times in our lives where we have to take risks in order to improve and to reach our potential.
I think it's about trying the things that have more chances to go wrong. But that's exciting, and that tests your responses and how you're able to adapt.
It's about really letting go of the idea of a perfect finished product in order to evolve and grow and break our usual habits to find out what we are really capable of.
We've got this survival instinct that tells us to just stay safe in our comfort zones, but there are times where you just have to break through, step outside your usual movement patterns.
And I really like how Kyra has that calmness, and she naturally flows through risky moments beautifully.
She just kind of trusts where her body's taking her. She knows that it's going to catch her if she falls, and also that if you do fall, that's fine, because you've taken the risk, and that's what's important.
This episode is based on the topic more risk. This is something I felt I explored during quarantine training with IU. I felt like risk was something that kind of stood out to me when watching back, and something that I kind of felt I was pushing throughout the training sessions. So yeah, risk, taking risk, more risk is what I'll be looking at. The definition of the word risk is an action in hope of a desired result. Words that I feel are associated with the word risk are danger, exposure, opportunity, possibility, accident, luck, and uncertainty. Moments. A moment to me is when something special or unexpected happens within dance. It's something that when you look back at it, it just stands out as a highlighted place and time within your dance improvisation or task.
I love the way you just caught that, Beth. Mad props.
Personally, when I've taken those risky moments, they've very much been in mid-flow of me doing something, or when I feel like I'm very invested or embodying a character or task. It feels like it's very much at the peak or when I feel comfortable with what I'm doing that I tend to take risks. And there has to be a sense of embodiment and investment in what you're doing in order for you to kind of push for taking more risk, or even just taking risk in general. It allows for me to be a bit more alert when I'm dancing, because I have to be aware of, if I'm dancing with a prop, making sure that I don't break the prop, or if that does happen, like make it part of it, so have the intention that it was meant to happen. For example, when I dropped it in my legs, I just carried on to kind of make it. So yeah, I feel like with taking risks, they very much exist within moments, and for moments to exist you have to be very much invested and embody what you're doing. So yeah, I feel like I tend to take risks when I'm off balance. I've seen that in most of the footage I either use it as like a coping mechanism if I'm about to fall or I feel unstable. It's kind of my way of saving myself, find a way out of movement. That's another perk of taking risks and the moments that can happen, is that it also allows for me to kind of change how I would usually come out of a movement, and it allows me to stop repeating myself. I've seen in one of the anti-bowling revisiting tasks where I actually nearly fell on the bottle as well as fell on the floor. I kind of used the momentum that I was creating during the movement to kind of find my way out of it. So it kind of also links to the fact that when I do take risks, the moments that are created is that it does sometimes allow for me to change my response to how I move, or my response to what I'm hearing as well. Sitting in the pocket very much relates to the topic of taking risks. I feel like watching back some of the sitting in the pocket tasks that I revisited, there was very much moments where I was so fully invested in the song or the music choice that I selected that it did allow for me to take risks. And watching back some of the footage, I was quite surprised to just see that, yeah, being so heavily invested in that one topic of sitting in the pocket did allow for me to take risks because I was so comfortable in what I was doing. It's kind of crazy that if you kind of do focus your energy or yourself into one task or idea, that risk just naturally can just happen, which is very exciting to see, because yeah, you'll feel it when you're doing it as well as when you watch it back. You'll be surprised that that's a crazy thing that you've done and a moment you've created. So this topic, more risk, very much sits well and relates to the times that we're currently experiencing of being in a global pandemic. Just knowing that there's this risk of catching or infecting people with this deadly disease is very scary and alarming. And I feel that we do try to prevent that by wearing the face masks and social distancing, but that is still something that's very uncertain, and we are unsure of if it actually works or is a thing. But it is a huge risk that we take every day, leaving our house, socialising, taking class. But then we do put those things in place ourselves, like we're very much responsible for the risk we take, depending on how risky you want to be. It's very much a personal thing how much we do and how much we take, how much risk we take basically. A challenge for me training this lockdown has been training in my house. Before the lockdown, I never used to see my house as a place of training and dancing. It was very much for me a place of rest. It's made me very much grateful for when I do have studio space to train in. It's very much been a risk for me training at home just because my space is limited in the sense that I only really have my living room. It's been very much a challenge, like having to push things and make the space very much appropriate for what I'm going to do. So my conclusion for the topic risk is a quote, and the quote is, "If it's still on our mind, it's worth taking the risk. It takes risk for us to move forward in life." Taking risk is very much trial and error, and I do feel that you do have to just take your time and just allow for things to happen. Don't stop things mid-flow. Very much just go with the motion of it and the feeling of it. You only know until you've done it if it was successful or not. So yeah, just taking that risk will just allow for you to kind of push yourself in what you can do and surprise yourself. So one of my highlights from training remotely with Instigate Unknown is just being able to see each other move, dance, share, express ourselves in our own environment, and just connecting to each other through the screen, as that's the only means of how we've been able to communicate during this time. and rehearse, which kind of links to the sort of engagement that you kind of have on social media with like Instagram videos, just scrolling through and seeing each other's dancing videos. But I feel like with Zoom you're able to get an actual reaction there and then in real time. Being able to get feedback from each other has been really cool, because yeah, that is definitely needed when you just have yourself to look at and dance with. So it's been nice to get some sort of feedback. Like, we've been doing some crazy stuff as well, so it was just nice to see each other move and see some crazy things. Yeah, it's been really cool. This has been Kyra Mills speaking about more risk.